In this session, we will see GATE ECE 2022's question. The question is, there has been given a circuit which contains two resistors and one capacitor, and the response as the frequency changes. It is given the impedance, how the impedance varies as the frequency changes. In this we can observe, R1 and R2 are independent of the frequency. Only thing that changes is the capacitor. So based on the question, we need to find the values R1 and R2. We can see here that the point of interest of our circuit is just at two places, when the capacitor is open and when the capacitor is short. If we can find the two Z-ins where the capacitor is open and shorted, we can find R1 and R2 respectively. So our points of interest are omega is equals to 0 and omega is equals to infinity. At omega is equals to 0, as we can see here, the circuit reduces like this. As omega tends to 0, 1 by omega is infinity, so the capacitor will be open circuited. The equivalent circuit is shown here. When the capacitor is open circuited, the equivalent resistor Z seen is R1 plus R2, and it has been given that when omega is equals to 0, we can see from the graph that Z is equals to 5 kilo ohms. So our R1 plus R2 is equals to 5 kilo ohms. And next, let us examine at omega is equals to infinity. As it turns out, at omega is equals to infinity, the capacitor will get short circuited. If the capacitor gets short circuited, the impedance we see is only R1. So at omega is equals to infinity, we know it is given in the graph that Z is equals to 2 kilo ohms. So Z is equals to 2 kilo ohms equals R1. Now we got R1 is equals to 2 kilo ohms. We know that R1 plus R2 is equals to 5 kilo ohms. So from that we can get to know R2 is equals to 3 kilo ohms. Hence, the correct option is option A.